Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Sky Clock. Today we're going to be taking a deep dive into the cosmic weather for January 4th, 2025.
I love it.
It's kind of like the universe is serving up this like cosmic cocktail,
Okay.
and it's got this base of steady Capricorn energy, but then there's also this splash of like dreamy Pisces vibes.
I love that.
It's a very interesting day.
It is.
I'm sensing like these get stuff done vibes.
Yeah,
But then there's also this side of like trusting your intuition.
absolutely.
So
Yeah.
it's interesting.
I find it fascinating how this blend of like practicality and imagination
Mhm.
is actually playing out in the sky today.
Yeah.
It's really all about balancing those two energies.
Yeah.
It's kind of like starting the year off with a well-organized planner in one hand and then like a colorful vision board
I love it.
in the other.
Okay, so where do we even begin?
Well, we got to start with the star of the show, right?
Okay.
The sun.
Mm-hmm.
And it's currently shining its light in Capricorn. So think of Capricorn as like the cosmic architect, the one who just loves structure, discipline, and loves setting those long-term goals.
Okay.
Right? Capricorn is all about building that solid foundation brick by brick.
Does that mean I should be working on my 5-year plan today?
Not necessarily, no. It's more about tapping into that Capricorn energy
Okay.
to just make steady progress toward whatever matters to you.
Mm-hmm.
So think about it. What goals have you been nurturing?
Yeah,
What steps can you take today to move closer to those goals?
I like that.
Yeah,
It's not just about the big picture,
right.
but it's those like small, consistent actions
Exactly.
that really lead to those big results.
Yes.
Okay, but hold on.
Yeah,
We've also got a Pisces moon today.
we do.
And that feels like a totally different vibe.
Very different Capricorn.
You're right. The moon is all about emotions,
Mm-hmm.
intuition.
Okay.
And in Pisces, it's like adding a soft focus lens to our feelings.
Okay.
Everything just feels a little dreamier.
A little more sensitive.
Yeah.
You might find yourself drawn to creative activities,
Okay.
spiritual practices, or just spending time in nature.
So it's like the Capricorn sun is saying, let's get things done.
Yes,
And the Pisces moon is saying, let's do it with feeling.
exactly. Finding that sweet spot between the head and the heart, logic and intuition.
Okay.
And now remember, the moon is in its crescent phase, which symbolizes those new beginnings and growth.
Okay.
It's like planting that seed and watching it sprout.
I like that analogy.
So think about what intentions you're nurturing right now. What dreams are you starting to cultivate?
Okay, this is already starting to feel like a pretty powerful day.
It is.
But we got more planets to unpack, right? What about Mercury?
Yes.
Where is that chatty planet hanging out today?
Oh, Mercury is currently in Sagittarius,
Okay.
which is all about expanding our horizons. Literally and figuratively. Think of Sagittarius as like the cosmic explorer, always seeking truth and knowledge. You might find yourself craving those stimulating conversations, deep philosophical discussions, or just learning something new and exciting.
Oh, I love learning new things.
Me too.
So does this mean I should sign up for a philosophy course today?
You could, but it's more about following your curiosity wherever it leads you.
Okay.
Maybe you read a thought-provoking article, listen to a podcast, or you chat with someone who has a different perspective.
Okay.
The key is to keep an open mind and embrace those aha moments.
I like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of open minds, isn't Venus also in Pisces today?
It is.
That's got to add some extra sweetness to the mix.
It does. Venus in Pisces is all about love, compassion, and artistic expression. It's like everything is seen through those rose-colored glasses.
So it's a good day for a date night?
It could be,
Yeah.
but it's also a great day for any activity that connects you with your heart.
Okay.
Whether that's listening to your favorite music, creating art,
Yeah.
or simply practicing kindness and compassion.
This cosmic cocktail is sounding better and better.
Yeah.
But I'm guessing there's a bit more to this story, right?
There's always more to the story, and things get a little interesting with Mars going retrograde in Leo.
Mars retrograde. That sounds intense.
It can be, but it's not necessarily a bad thing.
Okay.
Retrogrades are like cosmic pauses, times for reflection and reassessment.
Okay.
And with Mars, the planet of action and energy, this retrograde is asking us to look inward
Okay.
and examine how we assert ourselves in the world.
So instead of charging ahead with our usual, like, go-getter energy,
Yeah,
it's more about slowing down,
exactly.
reflecting.
And in Leo, the sign of self-expression and creativity, this retrograde is asking us to examine our passions
Okay.
and how we share them with the world. It's
Ah.
time to reconnect with those activities that light you up, even if it's just for your own enjoyment.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So we're balancing this grounded Capricorn energy
Yeah.
with a bit of introspective Leo energy.
Precisely. And remember, with Mars retrograde, it's not about suppressing your passions,
Okay.
but rather about refining them,
Hmm.
finding that authentic expression that comes from within, not from seeking external validation.
Okay.
It might even bring up some old creative projects,
Yeah.
that you'd put on the back burner.
Yeah.
It's like a cosmic nudge to revisit those passions and see if there's still a spark.
Ooh, I'm already feeling inspired to dust off my old guitar.
I love it.
But let's not get ahead of ourselves. We've got more planetary players to explore.
Yes, we do.
What about Jupiter?
Yes.
Where's the planet of abundance and expansion hanging out today?
Well, Jupiter's currently retrograde in Gemini,
Okay.
which might sound a bit like a contradiction.
Uh-huh.
Retrogrades, as we discussed, are about slowing down,
Right.
while Jupiter is all about growth and expansion.
So it's like hitting the pause button
Exactly.
on our expansion plans.
Think of it as a cosmic opportunity
Yep.
to review and refine your
Mhm.
ideas, beliefs, and knowledge.
Okay.
Gemini is all about communication and information.
Mhm.
So this retrograde is a great time to reassess what you've learned.
Okay.
Tie up any loose ends and just make sure that your growth is focused and intentional.
So instead of rushing into new ventures,
Yes.
we're taking stock of what we already have
Exactly.
and making sure that our foundation is strong.
Yes.
I like that it's like doing a mental inventory before embarking on a new adventure.
That's a great analogy.
Okay.
Now let's add another layer to this cosmic puzzle.
Okay.
Saturn, the planet of discipline and structure, is currently in Pisces.
Saturn and Pisces. That sounds like an interesting mix.
Oh, it is.
Pisces is all dreamy and flowy,
Yeah.
while Saturn is all about rules and boundaries.
It is an interesting combination, but it's not about creating conflict.
Okay.
It's about finding a balance.
Okay.
Saturn in Pisces encourages us to bring structure to our dreams and turn those visions into reality.
So it's like Saturn is helping Pisces build a bridge
Exactly.
from the dream world to the real world.
And it's important to note that Saturn is closely aligned with the moon today,
Okay.
which adds another layer of depth.
What does that mean for us?
It means that our emotions might feel a bit more serious
Okay.
or introspective.
Uh-huh.
It's a good day for journaling, meditation, or any activity that helps you connect with your inner world.
So we're really getting a double dose of introspection today
We are.
with Mars retrograde in Leo
Yeah.
and Saturn conjuncts the moon in Pisces.
It's a day for going inward, exploring our passions and grounding our dreams. But that doesn't mean it has to be all serious and somber.
Right.
Remember, Venus is still in Pisces,
Yes.
adding a touch of sweetness and romance to the mix.
So even though we're doing some deep inner work,
Yeah.
we can still find moments of joy and connection.
Absolutely. And speaking of shaking things up,
Ooh, okay.
let's not forget about Uranus, the planet of revolution and innovation,
Okay.
which is still retrograde in Taurus.
Uranus retrograde in Taurus. I remember when that started. It felt like the ground was shifting beneath our feet.
It did. Uranus is all about sudden change and breakthroughs.
Uh-huh.
And in Taurus, the sign of security and stability,
Yeah.
this retrograde has been challenging us
Okay.
to rethink our values and what truly matters to us.
So it's like Uranus is shaking up our comfort zone
Precisely.
and forcing us to adapt
Yes.
to new ways of being.
And with Uranus retrograde,
Uh-huh.
those changes might be happening internally.
Okay.
You might be experiencing sudden insights or
Yeah.
shifts in perspective, particularly around your finances, resources,
Mm.
or what makes you feel secure.
Makes sense. It's like we're being asked to let go of old patterns
Yes.
and embrace a new way of being in the world.
Exactly. Now, you can't talk about Pisces energy without mentioning Neptune,
Okay.
its ruling planet,
Uh-huh.
which is also currently in Pisces.
Neptune and Pisces, that sounds like a double dose of dreaminess.
It is. Neptune is all about intuition, spirituality, and dissolving boundaries.
Right.
In Pisces, its own sign, this energy is amplified.
Right.
It's a powerful time for connecting with your higher self,
Cool.
accessing your creativity,
Mhm.
and exploring the depths of your imagination.
So it's like the universe is giving us permission to dream big,
Exactly.
tap into our intuition, and maybe even get a little mystical.
But with all that dreamy Neptunian energy floating around,
Yeah.
it's important to stay grounded.
Right.
Remember, we've got that Capricorn sun
Yes.
reminding us to keep things practical and take action on our dreams.
Right. It's about finding that balance
Precisely.
between the practical and the magical, the grounded and the ethereal.
Now, are you ready for a big one?
Okay.
Pluto, the planet of transformation and power, has recently moved into Aquarius.
Pluto in Aquarius, I knew that was coming.
Yeah.
But it still feels like a major shift.
It is.
What does this mean for us collectively?
Pluto is all about deep, profound change. And in Aquarius, the sign of innovation, technology, and social progress, this transit is going to bring about some major societal shifts.
Okay.
We're talking about a revolution in the way we think about power, community, and the future.
Wow. Pluto in Aquarius, that's a lot to process. And we're only in the early degrees of this transit.
Exactly.
So these changes are just beginning to unfold.
It's a time of great upheaval, but also great potential.
Okay.
Think of it like a caterpillar transforming into a butterfly.
Okay.
It's messy and uncomfortable at times.
Yeah.
But the end result is something beautiful and transformative.
It's definitely feeling like a time of great change.
Yes.
And speaking of change, we've also got the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra.
Yes, the nodes are mathematical points in astrology that represent our karmic path, and their placement can tell us a lot about the lessons we're meant to learn in this lifetime.
So what are we meant to learn with the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra?
The North Node in Aries is calling us to embrace our individuality, to step into our power, and to take bold action.
So with the North Node in Aries, we're being encouraged to embrace our inner warrior.
Exactly.
And take charge of our destinies.
And the South Node in Libra is reminding us to let go of codependency and people-pleasing tendencies.
Okay.
It's about finding balance in relationships and learning to assert our needs without fear of rocking the boat.
So it's about finding that balance between independence and interdependence, right?
And it's not always easy, but the nodes are there to guide us, to show us the way forward on our soul's journey.
I love that it's like having a cosmic compass pointing us in the right direction.
It is. Now, let's not forget about Lilith.
Good.
A point in the chart that represents our shadow self, our repressed desires and instincts.
Right.
Lilith is currently in Libra, which can add another layer of complexity to relationships.
Lilith in Libra, what does that mean for us?
Lilith in Libra can bring up issues of power dynamics, fairness and authenticity in relationships. It's a time to examine our own shadow desires and to make sure we're not suppressing our needs in order to keep the peace.
So it's about finding that balance between harmony
and
authenticity in our relationships.
And finally, we have Chiron, the wounded healer, in Aries.
Chiron in Aries, that sounds intense.
It can be, but it's also a powerful opportunity for healing. Chiron represents our deepest wounds. And in Aries, the sign of the self. This transit is asking us to confront our insecurities and to embrace our individuality.
So even with all these complex planetary movements, there's this underlying theme of healing and self-discovery.
It's all about finding that balance between the grounded energy of Capricorn and the dreamy vibes of Pisces, between action and introspection, between structure and flow.
This has been such a fascinating deep dive so far. We've covered a lot of ground from the sun in Capricorn to Chiron in Aries.
We have.
It's amazing to see how all these different planetary energies are interacting and shaping the cosmic weather for today. It really is like a cosmic symphony, with each planet playing its unique part. But as we wrap up this deep dive, I'm curious, how can our listeners actually use all this information in their daily lives?
That's a great question. You know, remember, astrology isn't about predicting the future or telling you what to do. It's more like a cosmic weather report, providing insights into the energetic currents that are flowing around us.
So how can we tune in to these cosmic weather patterns and make the most of them?
The key is to approach it with a sense of curiosity and self-awareness. Pay attention to how you're feeling today. Are you feeling more driven and ambitious? Maybe that's the Capricorn sun urging you to take action on a goal. Are you feeling more sensitive and intuitive? Perhaps that's the Pisces moon encouraging you to connect with your creativity or spend time in nature.
I like that. It's not about letting the planets dictate our lives.
No.
But rather using this knowledge to make more conscious choices.
Exactly. And remember, each person's astrological chart is unique, like a fingerprint. So while these general transits can provide insights, how they play out for you personally will depend on your individual chart.
That makes sense. So even though we're talking about these transits in a general sense,
Yeah,
it's important for listeners to consider how these energies resonate with them specifically.
absolutely. For example, someone with a lot of fire in their birth chart might feel super energized by the North Node in Aries, while someone with a lot of water might find that Pisces energy a bit overwhelming.
Okay.
It's all about finding what works for you.
So the key takeaway is to use this information as a tool for self-discovery,
Yes.
not as a set of rules to follow.
Exactly. Astrology is a language, and like any language, it takes time and practice to learn. The more you explore, the more you'll discover about yourself and your unique place in the cosmic tapestry.
That's such a beautiful way to put it. And as we wrap up this episode, I just want to say thank you for sharing your wisdom with us.
It's been my pleasure. I always enjoy exploring the cosmos with you.
And to our listeners, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the cosmic weather for January 4th, 2025.
Remember, the stars are always there to guide us, but ultimately we have the power to choose our own adventure.
So go out there and make it a magical one. Until next time, keep looking up and keep exploring the mysteries of the sky clock.